Hello everyone. We talked about Tibet Corps in English and in Tibetan a few times before on our weekly panel discussion program, and we believe that those programs have benefited the Tibetans, particularly the younger generations, in terms of understanding what Tibet Corps is and what they can do to become a part of this program. Today we are going to talk to a volunteer of Tibet Corps in order to understand how does it feel like to be a volunteer at the Tibet Corps, and also to understand the general feeling of being part of a big Tibetan community like here in Dharamshala. I have here with me Tsetan Dolkar Gongya. She was born and raised in Canada, and she volunteered at the Department of Information and International Relations for 3 months, and I'm going to talk to her to understand how was her experience working here at the Central Tibetan Administration, and I'll also try to find out what she has to say to Tibetans, particularly the younger Tibetans, in terms of working here at the Tibet Corps. First of all, Tashi and welcome to the show, Tsetan.
Tashi, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, Tsetan, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I was born and raised in Canada, raised in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and had my schooling there. Went to Ryerson University and graduated in 2006 in a Bachelor of Fine Arts in New Media program. And since that time have worked in the museum field, have worked in marketing and communications capacity, in broadcast television, and most recently as a digital project manager for a large media company within Canada.
Tsetan, you have worked for 3 months at the Department of Information and International Relations as a volunteer for the Tibet Corps. I would like to know how was your experience like for the last 3 months, working here at the Central Tibetan Administration.
My experience has been really great. I'm the type of person that likes to keep really busy at work. So being a project manager, I like to organize quite a bit of projects all at the same time. So because of that, got to work on many projects for both the museum and also for the DIR offices themselves. So at the museum, I worked as a museum development professional and helped create programming for the museum. Worked on their first inaugural International Museum Day. Also helped edit and write communications material for them. And also worked on some of the digital projects for the museum as well, including the official launch of their website.
You mean the Tibet Museum website, right?
Yes, the Tibet Museum website, that's right. And also the digital screens that will be installed in the museum come early winter.
And I learned that you handled some projects, while working as, in the project section, you handled some projects. Can you just tell us some of the projects that you handled?
Yes. So some of the ones for the museum I already mentioned. Also for the DIR office, one of the highlights for me was working on the Umelam campaign. So working on the official media launch and also the website launch for Umelam. And that was a very important project for me personally, also professionally as well, because it's a cause and a stance that I truly support and believe in. And so because of that was very important for me. So on working with that project, I got to use my skills and experience in working with the project officers here, working with the web developers, working with the designers and the entire team in terms of getting the website ready for the launch, which happened on June 5th to great success.
Yes,
and, as I think I know the entire department really is responsible for. So it was a great success being a part of that project.
Okay, Tsetan, I would like to ask you a question about the Umelam project, but before that, I would like to know, I heard that you have taken up some language course, that Tibetan language course at the Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies that we normally call Sara College, and also you took up another language course at the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. Can you tell us how did you find these programs, because you have attended them, and I'm sure, you have some opinion about these language courses. Tsetan, can you please tell about those programs?
Yes, so when I first arrived in April, in order to kind of improve my Tibetan, I wanted to take language courses. So I started off taking them at the Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. They have a great language program, offer learning languages in Tibetan, Hindi, and I think they also teach English as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I started taking classes there every day while also volunteering. And that was a great kind of introduction to the language, because I'd never formally taken Tibetan language classes before. So that was great. And then at Sara, I had taken a month in July to participate in a program at Sara Institute, which was a cultural enrichment program for Tibetans from abroad. And it was a very special program to be part of, because you basically live there and get to be a full-fledged student for the entire month. And every day it's courses related to Tibet somehow. So it was introduction to meditation, it was language classes, it was philosophy, history, and civilization classes, and also just being in the learning environment there in general at Sara. So that was really a great experience. I felt like a student again, which was really nice.
Okay, Tsedela, you talked about the Middle Way project that you were part of, can you tell me what is it that you learned about Middle Way approach, or Umelam that we call in Tibetan, something that you learned about this policy that you didn't have knowledge before, you were part of this project?
Mm-hmm. Well, learning more about it and getting access to the materials, which are all readily available on middlewayapproach.org to anybody who visits the website. So it was a great opportunity working on the project, I learned more about it, obviously. So learning more about it, I learned that it was, really the best viable solution to addressing the urgent situation inside Tibet that also the rest of the world could also support. And it's a model that even goes beyond the issue of Tibet and China. I think it's something that is a model that can be used for conflict resolution in any type of situation, whether it's political between countries, whether it's personal between people. So this is really the model moving forward, I think. It's about dialogue, it's about coming together and mutual agreements that we need to move forward in.
Tsedela, you worked at the Department of Information and International Relations as a Tibet Corps volunteer for 3 months, I would like to know, what's your opinion about Tibet Corps in general,
I think it's a wonderful program, and the fact that it's only been around for 2 years in existence, and considering that, I think it's quite successful. I think there's almost 30 participants.
Since the program started.
And that number just keeps on increasing. So obviously there is a demand within the Tibetan diaspora globally for people to get involved within the CTA and the administration. So because of that, it's wonderful to see the CTA kind of meeting that demand, right, and giving people an outlet to serve their community through the CTA to strengthen the community. So I think it's a wonderful program, and I think it's just the beginning. And there's we're going to go much further with it.
Okay, Tsedela, for the last few months, you are here in Dharamshala, you took up language courses, and then, you worked at the Tibet Corps. And I'm sure, this must be the first time outside of Canada that you lived in a big Tibetan community like here in Dharamshala. So, generally speaking, how was your experience living in Dharamshala?
This has actually been the first time I've been to India, even
Wow.
not even Dharamshala. So
Okay.
it was a very new experience. I had researched upon coming here, so I had an idea of what to expect. Toronto also has quite a sizable Tibetan community, as well. So I was, somewhat used to being a part of a larger Tibetan community. But I must say, just being here, being in the mountains that are right behind us, the hills, and the environment itself is breathtaking. That alone is a wonderful experience. But also the community feel in Dharamshala is also very strong.
Even the Tibetan vibe?
Yes, the vibe, the
Yes,
Tibetan vibe, the Tibetan community feels very strong. So it's also been very wonderful to be a part of that as well.
Okay, Tsedela, finally, based on your experience here working at the Department of Information and International Relations as a Tibet Corps volunteer, do you have any particular message that you would like to give to Tibetans, who might be interested and come here and serve the Tibetan community?
Yes, I have a few messages, I guess tips,
Yes,
if you call it that. For those who are interested in volunteering, I think a really good idea is to come with a set of goals and objectives, right, with what you would like to achieve during your stay here, in order to make the most out of your time volunteering here and to be of most service to people. So that's the first one. The second one is to be clear with what your expectations are, and also to let the people who you're working with know what your expectations are as well. Like, if you want to practice your Tibetan a bit more, let them know, I'd like to work with you and speak Tibetan and practice it. And let them also know, to correct you when you're wrong. For me, I let the museum director know that, I like staying very busy at work, so please let me know when there's things to do, and I like working on multiple projects at one time. So that helps kind of keep me busy. Third, I think, is to come with an open mind and really be here and soak in the experience. Be open-minded, because you're in a different culture, you're in a different country, and be willing and open to try new experiences. Right? That might seem a little scary at first, but you'll be happy, I think, in the end that you did it. And lastly, I think this program is a really great program, and is a really great opportunity for Tibetans, young Tibetans maybe who are just graduated school, or young professionals who'd like a break from work, to come and serve for the community. And I really encourage people to take on the opportunity to come to Dharamshala and volunteer with Tibet Corps.
Thank you, Tsedela. That's a very powerful message there. I hope this will serve as an inspiration for the Tibetans, particularly the young Tibetans like Tsedela, to come and serve the Tibetan community through Tibet Corps program. So that's on the agenda today. With this, we come to the end of our program, and I hope Tibetans, particularly the young Tibetans, will find it important and come here and serve the Tibetan community. Thank you, Tsedela, for talking passionately about your work experience here, and also the general feeling of being here in Dharamshala. It's nice talking with you. Thank you.